This is a battle in the Use It and Lose It tournament. We have Massilia coming up against Pontus. Massilia, kind of an obvious choice early on in the tournament, since you lose factions when you use them and since infantry is limited. Massilia can do some work, and in no small part due to the Massilian hoplites. They have the elite spear, so 30 weapon damage, close to sword damage. Even closer when you put them in phalanx and they get to 5 bonus versus infantry. Then they have 35 weapon damage and 13 in effect armor piercing, which is very nice. Then Massilia has 3 Massilian Theraeus. Special thing about these guys is that they have a very nice charge bonus for Theraeus. Then we have Celtic Warriors, 2 Celtic Warriors on each flank, and a center of Axe Warriors. For Cavalry we have Massilian Cav, very nice medium melee cavalry. Then we have Hippeus Lancers, very heavy shock cavalry. And one more Massilian cavalry, so very strong Massilian army. They are coming up against Pontus. So Pontus has Cappadocians, Noble Bloods, Cappadocians, Citizen. For infantry, Pontic Swords. I do not like the Pontic Swords, they are a very problematic unit to use effectively. Hoplites, 2 Levy Pikemen, 4 Eastern Slingers, and 1 Scythe Chariot. The killing power of Pontus in this battle comes from skirmish and chariots, which is quite difficult to make use of on this particular map. Not necessarily, but if the engagements happen in the forest, it can be problematic. Massilian Cavalry, great in joining cavalry engagements, but this is what happens when they try to chase away skirmish cav. The mercenary Scythians not even using heavy shot, and already Massilian Cavalry down by 9 men. They might lose more men here disengaging, and yep, they drop below 50, so that was pretty bad for the Massilian Cavalry. The mercenary Scythian horse doing a nice job screening away, allowing the slingers to pour down some fire. Celtic Warriors also taking a bit of damage. Celtic Warriors do not like missile fire one bit. And they are also dropping quite rapidly here. The main problem in using the chariot effectively is these Hippeus can't stop the chariot with the charge, and the precursors will wreck the chariot significantly. Now, the mercenary Scythian horse come under fire here from Theraeus, and this is not an engagement they want to be in, losing a lot of mercenary Scythian horse. Also taking slinger fire, and anytime you lose a man in a unit, that man's ammunition is gone. So losing about 20 Scythian horse archers here means that all of that ammunition, all of that damage potential is just gone at this point, and that's pretty bad. The Massilian Theraeus pouring some fire into the Levy Pikes and into the Eastern Slingers. They are not that effective against just standard infantry units, especially units with shields. Only 29 damage and 5 armor penetration on those javelins. The 5 bonus they have against Cav helps a lot. Now here comes the Citizen Cavalry taking on Massilian Cavalry. Massilian Cavalry far superior to Citizen Cavalry, so they should do a good job there. Then we have Hippeus up against Cappadocians. And in the forest, so some of the charge of the Hippeus is going to be reduced, but Cappadocian will lose men on the charge. The support for Massilia is closer, and you can see how quickly the Citizen Cavalry got ground down, super quickly here. So Massilian Theraeus and Celtics moving into support. The Hippeus Lancers are losing, in no small part due to being attacked in the rear. Hoplites charge into the mix. Still, the combination of Celtics and Massilian Theraeus should be able to defeat the Hoplites quite handsomely. The mercenary Scythians moving around on the flanks, very nice flanking charge here by the Cappadocians, getting into the both Massilian cavalry units, and both of these Massilian cavalry units are going to lose to that one Cappadocian cavalry, because the Cappadocian cavalry got the charge. And there is support here, Hoplite support. Now this Noble Blood cavalry should get a charge here and then just disengage this way to not get precursored in the face. But it looks like it's not going to respond, which is... no, it's going to move away from the engagement. So what started as a great engagement for Pontus is now not such a good engagement, because the Cappadocian cavalry gets hit by Celtic warriors, and the Pontic units are starting to get surrounded. Same thing over here in the center. Massilia has so much support in. The Hoplites and Pontic swords are holding though. This is a very messy engagement. And here comes the Chariot. The Chariot is not in a good position at this point because of this Hippeus Lancer. The Hippeus Lancer is going to be able to charge the Chariot, inflict significant damage to the Chariots, and now they are going to be open to precursor fire. They take some precursors. It won't be long before these side Chariots stop being able to fire. Now Pontus having to send in the mercenary Scythian horse archers to stop the Hippeus Lancers from chasing down the side Chariots. But the Chariots are out of position. Ideally, the Chariots will only have to engage engaged infantry units when very heavy shock cavalry is also engaged. But in this case, the very heavy shock wasn't engaged, so the noble blood cavalry gets charged. Massilia starting to gain the advantages in the engagements here. Quite a lot of Massilian units free here. This looks like a good blob for the Chariots to move into, but in my opinion the levy pikes would have to need to rush in, drop phalanx, because look at what the precursors do to the Chariots now. The Chariots manage to plow through, cause a lot of casualties, but they have taken prior damage, and one more precursor volley and these Chariots could be rendered combat ineffective. Let's see here. Yep. Down to 5 men, and that's basically it for the Chariots. At this point, there's not much Pontus can do. Pontus is getting surrounded. Pontus is losing cavalry. Pontus is losing the infantry fights in the center. There's still 7 minutes left to go. The mercenary Scythian horse archers again take fire from Massilian Thureos. Massilian Thureos getting an experienced chevron, which is very nice. This is why horse archers need to be microed with care around Thureos units. Surprisingly, the Massilian Thureos here starting to lose out in the fight against the Hoplites. But the support from Massilia was pulled out, and wisely so. Dealing with a Hoplite unit late game is almost never a problem. Let's see, the Pontic general looks like he is off the field, but he isn't dead yet. Now here he is, he's fine. Pontic swords winning decisively here against the Massilian Thureos. Massilian Thureos being rallied. But Massilia is going to win in this engagement. Getting the Cappadocian Cav into the Celtic Slingers here. So many free units for Massilia, able to get in and do some damage. Hippeus, 114 kills, not bad at all. Not cost effective, but doing damage to a Chariot was essential in this battle. Here come the Axe Warriors, chasing away some Eastern Slingers. There's no way the Eastern Slingers are able to kill enough men, especially not when they get mopped up by Hippeus like this. The Hippeus are going to die now to the noble bloods. And the general of Pontus holding on in the center against the Axe Warriors. Pontic swords on the level of Thorax swords, not good mid-tier sword units, but the killing power of Pontus comes from the combination of skirmish, cavalry, chariots, to some degree the Celtic warriors and the mercenary naked swords as well. But under these specific rules, I think Massilia is a very strong faction. Having those elite hoplites with elite spears helps a lot. Now there are only these units of Pontus holding out in the center, and they are about to get surrounded by Axe Warriors, but a lot of these units are very tired, which is going to reduce their combat effectiveness significantly. So the Pontic swords in shield wall could be able, since they are in shield wall, That's the nice thing about Hot's map. If you go defensive and use defensive abilities, units are going to be able to do better than they otherwise would, because they're going to be fresh and they're going to be fighting exhausted and very tired units, and that's a significant advantage. And that's why you see the Pontic swords getting the kills here. But it is too little too late for Pontus. Some Eastern Slingers getting chased by very tired Celtics. They're not going to be able to catch them, but they will stop them from firing. Slingers being screened away here. They might be able to kill the Massilian Hoplites. They're inflicting some really nice kills on the Massilian Hoplites here. Noble Bloods smashing into the Axe Warriors. Precursors coming into the Noble Bloods. The Noble Bloods managed to disengage, even though they were in the forest. And quite a lot of these Massilian Theraeos quite a lot of the Massilian units start to waver and break because of that cav charge, so that was nicely done. Cavalry late game is very, very dangerous. They might be able to break, yeah, they broke the Axe Warriors. So need to get pulled out right now to not get, hello bird, to not get smashed here. They were pulled out in time. Now a nice charge on these Celtic exhausted Celtics could break them and save the Eastern Slingers. So now there are only Slingers and Cav left on the field. This one unit of Noble Blood is sort of, there's one guy here, but most of the unit is over here, which can be a bit annoying. Are they not charging this Celtic warrior? No, it seems like they are not charging the Celtic warrior, which is a bit odd, but this is a perfect unit to just charge in. Spaghetti Celtic warriors, knock the unit down, get a lot of kills, and then just continue through. Eastern Slingers pouring down some fire. Massilian Hoplites should take priority, but there are a few Massilian Hoplites that are going to be very difficult to kill with skirmish. Let's see if the Slingers have their daggers out, which indicates they are, these two units not out of ammunition, but this unit looks like it's out of ammunition. And Slingers in melee, they can get some kills rear charging, but against these particular troops, I don't see the Slingers being able to do much really. The Axe Warriors and Celtics are prime targets for the Noble Bloods, but they are tired. So managing to get a double charge here could take these two units off the field. A bit premature with the Eastern Slinger charge here, but it does make the Axe Warriors and Celtics focus on them. Pulling out the Eastern Slingers, nice charge by the Noble Bloods, charging in together with the Eastern Slingers. The Axe Warriors should start dropping, and they do. Nice charge. But without their general, the Eastern Slingers are not going to be in the fight for long. Going back in with the Slingers. Going back in with the Cavalry. If this Celtic Warrior gets hit in the rear, it might break. But it gets, winning against the Eastern Slingers helps it a lot, and now the Noble Bloods, not disciplined, have had enough, so a costly victory for Massilia there. The Chariot was neutralized, nice kills on the Pontic Sword General here in the forest, nice kills on the Cappadocian and on this Pontic. Extreme kills on the Celtic Warriors. The Massilian Cavalry was mismanaged to a significant degree, but the Massilian Theraeos, Celtic Warriors and Axe Warriors brought it back, and it was enough to defeat the Pontus here. Nice kills on the Eastern Slingers, but losing the General was very, very bad for Pontus, and of course losing the Chariot was arguably even worse, because the Hippeus were able to get in, stop it, and then the precursor started raining down on the side chariots, and that's why you kind of have to use a chariot when everything is engaged. So I think Pontus only has 4 melee units here, and I think Pontus, to compete with Massilia, Pontus should go a bit lighter on the cavalry. Take out the citizen cavalry, take out some levy pikes, bring in some, let's see here, for Pontus, that's what I would have done anyway. Brought some mercenary nakeds. Yeah, so if I was going to go Pontus under these rules, I would probably have a Pontic Royal Cav General. Would probably have mercenary Celts, mercenary nakeds. Then go for some the slingers are a good choice. There's max 4 missile cav, so I would go with some. So I would go with 4 horse archers as Pontus. Cappadocians, decent against Massilia, but now you have so much left. So that's sort of the Pontic problem. You have so much left. So could be an idea to now there are funds left for the chariot. Get everything stuck in and then use the chariot. There's also the option to reduce the amount of naked swords and go for some more. Let's see here. There we are. Go for some more Pontic swords. That's an option. But I think maxing out the missile cav and maxing out the melee infantry would be a good idea against Massilia, and try to take care of the units that has precursors. Try to take care of the missile units with the archers, and then finally send in the scythe chariots. It's not certain to work, but I think it would stand a decent chance. Strength and honor.